Welcome back guys to the second and final part of the January paper 2 2021 mathematics B. So we left off after question number 6 and now starting off with question number 7. The question asks us, given that A is inversely proportional to the under root of B and B is inversely proportional to C cubed, complete the following table. Okay. So here we are given two values of A, two values of C. We have to find one of A and one of C. But I've already solved this paper, so it takes a small amount of time to explain it, and also the shorter length of video helps the viewer to navigate through the paper easily. So first off, let me show you how to do this question now. Okay. So first off, we just start by writing off what we are given. So over here we know A is directly proportional to is inversely proportional to under root of B. So inversely means it is divided by 1. It is a reciprocal, you can say. Okay. And B is inversely proportional to C cubed. So B is inversely proportional to, inverse means reciprocal, to C cubed. So now we all know that if something is inversely proportional, the formula for inverse proportion is A is equal to K over B. And if it is direct proportion, it means A equals to KB, K multiplied by B. So over here it is inverse proportion, so we know it is A equals to K divided by B, and in this case divided by under root of B because it's an under root, and for C it is C cubed. And you can use K for both, it doesn't really matter, but to help them separate and not get the same unknown variable in one equation, we will be using them separate. So here, for example, over here what we have done, we cannot use the same unknown variable. Okay, so we have written our form of inverse proportion. So now we will try to fill in the values. So over here what we have done, we have the value of B over here. So all we did was replace this value of B in over here, and so you can see K divided by under root of B. B was this, X over C cubed. So now as you can see, we are given the value of A and C in the first part. So what we did, we simply substituted both of them over here, and after this, as we simplified this whole thing, we got this 16 equals to K times under root of 340 cubed divided by under root of X. So now multiply this under root of X over here, and after obviously it's a simple calculation. Now we have this 16 over under root of 240 is equals to K over under root of X. So as you can see, K is equal to 16 and under root of X equals to under root of 240 cubed. So X is automatically equal to 240 cubed. So we have proved over here. Okay, so our next thing, A over under root of cubed C cubed equals to P over under root of Q. So A over under root of C cubed equals to 16 over 240 cubed, as I have explained before. Okay, now we will move on to solve the first part, which is the value of C. Ignore the answer which I have written, so it is easier for you to understand by process. So we know that if 250 is our given value of A. So as according to this part, this thing over here, we will replace A with 250 and C will remain as it is, equals to 16 over 240 cubed. And as you solve this, when you cross multiply this over here and this over here, you will get this as a value. And once you're done, you can simply, as you can see over here, we have our value in under root C cubed. So first of all, obviously you have to remove the square root sign. And what we did over here, obviously to remove the square root sign you have to square both sides, so the square over here cancels off the root. And solving this entire thing on the calculator, you get a value of this in an under root cubed. Why we did that is to remove the cube over here. First square root the whole thing to remove the root, and now cube root it to remove the power of 3 on both sides. And doing this all in the calculator, it should be quick. C is equals to 1500. Next part, we were given the value of B, C as 135. What you need to do, simply carry out the same method. A over under root of C cubed, substitute the entire thing. We have the value of A given already, which is 16, divided by, we have given the value of C cubed, which is 240 cubed under root square rooted under root square. Okay. A equals to, we have substituted the values which we have, and you take out the answer as, after calculating this entire thing on a calculator. So for those who are still a little confused over here, we simply wrote down the formula of inverse proportion. We substituted the value of B over here. We took out a final equation over here, K over under root of X, and K was A, and under root of X was C cubed, as we can see over here. So next is P over under root of Q, which doesn't really matter, it is just to have another variable. So A over under root of C cubed over here is equal to 16 over under root 240 cubed. We have written it over here. Now all you need to do is replace the values over here. So in the first one, you're given the value of A as 240. A over C cubed, A over here is equal to our originally or value which we have found. So over here, because this is A over C cubed as well, and this is A over C cubed as well, both of their values are all equal. So do this once over here, you get the value of C, and carry out the same procedure by using the C over here instead of A, and put A as unknown variable. Solve it again, you'll get the value of A. We're done with question number 7. Now moving on to question number 8. Okay, so here we are given a diagram. Pardon the camera and the paper, my printer is a bit damaged, I haven't fixed it yet. Anyways, it's still readable, so yeah. Figure 2 shows a kite ABCD in which AB equals to 6 centimeters, BC is 8, and ABC angle is 90 degrees. We can tell that with the angle mark. Okay, AEC and BED are straight lines. AEC and BED are straight lines. Calculate the length in centimeters of AC. So this should be a very simple procedure. You have the right angle triangle over here, and to do the first thing, all you need to do is carry out the Pythagoras theorem. You can redraw the simplified diagram over here. We have one over here, like this is the base and this is the height. So we have drawn it over here again. And now this makes things even more easier. So Pythagoras theorem says a square plus b square equals to hypotenuse square. And to remove the hypotenuse square, you under root both sides, like here I've done, and your answer is 10 centimeters. Don't forget to put the units I have, but you will lose marks. Okay, so moving on with part B, calculate the area of ABCD. So you can see this is a kite, so this is a symmetrical figure. So all you need to do is find the area of one triangle of this entire part, and you can multiply this by 2 to get this part as well. So first, simply our formula is 1 over 2 into base into height, which we are given for one triangle, and we will multiply it by 2 to get the area of two triangles. We will add them both, which we have already done. they both are added obviously. We multiplied by 2, we can simplify this 2 with this 2, so 6 into 8 is 48, so our answer is 48 centimeters square. Okay, hope this was simple enough. Okay, part C. Show that BE is equal to 4.8 centimeters. So BE is this line. This part might get a few people confused, but it is not actually very hard. So I have drawn a simple diagram over here. We just figured out this length. This is 10, and simply we will multiply 1 over 2 into, we will just carry out, we know the area of this triangle, right? Because we found the area of two of these triangles, which was 48. So obviously the area of one part will be this 48 divided by 2, which is 24. So the area of a triangle is 1 over 2 into base into height. Base we just found out, which was 10 centimeter. Height is what we are supposed to find. This is BE. So 1 over 2 into base into x or h, whatever you want to call the height, is equals to 24 centimeters square. And simply by solving this, you will get the value of 4.8, hence proved. Part D. Prove that triangle ABE is similar to BCE. ABE is similar to BCE. At first you'll be thinking that this is a very weird thing because neither the shapes match, and obviously this angle is not equal to this angle. But putting it in another angle, if you rotate this triangle 90 degrees towards here, you will have both right angles over here, and this angle will be equal to this angle, and this angle will be equal to this angle. All you need to do is move this triangle 90 degrees towards the right. So that's what we have done. And again, I have drawn these diagrams again, as you can see. So this was supposed to be 4.8, which I have rotated over here. Okay, this was supposed to be 4.8. So when you rotate it 90 degrees towards the right, this will come to the bottom over here. And this was the hypotenuse, which we already have in our figure of the kite, which is 6 centimeter. And this part we're not really sure of, but we don't really care as well. So now you can see both of these are right angle triangles. This is 6 centimeter, this is 8 centimeter. And how do you prove this to be similar? Because you only have one thing common, which is the right angle. Okay, so let's first say that the angles need to be same. We will assume that ABE is equals to BCE, but how do we prove it? See, on this triangle, if you simply use the cos rule, the trigonometric identity of cos, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, cos theta equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. So this angle we're trying to find out, so its adjacent is 4.8 and hypotenuse is obviously 6. So cos theta equals to adjacent 4.8 divided by 6. Put it on a calculator, calculate the inverse cos of this, because when you're moving cos from theta to here, it will turn into cos inverse equals to 4.8 over 6. So I'm assuming you guys know what it is. So theta equals to this, and hence we have found ABE for this. But now we don't know if it is the same as BCE over here as we have assumed. So all you need to do over here, we are given the opposite to this angle and the hypotenuse. So for that we will use sine identity, which means opposite over hypotenuse. So sine theta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. Calculate the inverse sine multiplied by this, and you get the same answer. I might have rounded off this to a wrong significant figure. I haven't rounded it off correctly, but both the angles should be same, and they are. So if this angle is the same, whole triangle is 180 degrees, obviously this plus this and this plus this, 180 subtracted by either of these will make this angle automatically same. So we can say all the angles are same, so both are similar, hence proved. So the only proof you need to get is the angles. If the angles are same, then obviously the triangle is similar. We're done with question number 8 as well. Question number 9. The points with coordinates 1, 2 and 1, 5 and 3, 2 are vertices of triangle A. On a grid, draw and label triangle A. So there are 2 1s on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis, and 2, 5 and 2 on the y-axis. Okay, 3 is on the x-axis. Okay, so 1, 2 means 1 on the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. 1 on the x-axis, 2 on the y-axis, so this point meets over here. Then we had a point 3, 2, 3 on x-axis, 2 on y-axis, these points meet, and 1 on x-axis, and 1 on the x-axis and 5 on the y-axis, so this point meets. So over here we have a triangle. Next, the question asks us to this, okay, it tells us on a rig we have drawn it over here, triangle A. Triangle B is the image of A under a reflection in the line with equation y equals to minus x. So all you need to do is translate it, reflect it. Answer B, question B is draw and label triangle B. So the easiest thing you can do is first draw a table to find what the line will be on which you are reflecting your triangle. So y is equal to minus x. Put the values of x random. I've put minus 1, 0 and 1. You will automatically get the values of y. So if you put minus 1 in x, you will get 1. You put 0 in x, you will get 0 y. And if you put 1 over in x, you will get a y as minus 1. What we did, we used these values to plot a line. This is the line of y is equal to minus 1. You should know that y is equal to minus 1 passes through origin and has a negative gradient of 1 or minus 1. Yes. So this is our line, and now how we reflect A on B. It is a very simple procedure. First, pick one point. Count the number of points it takes to reach the line. In this case, 1 point, 2 point, 3 points. Now move perpendicular to that line, like move at the right 90 degrees on that point. It means 1, 2, 3, same number of 3, and you point this point over here. So it was as simple as that. Again, if you don't understand, I'll recap it. Let me pick a pen here. You need to count the number of points it takes to move to the line you're about to reflect the triangle on. Pick one point, 1, 2, 3, these 3, and then the same number of points, move them perpendicular to the line. 1, 2, 3. Place the point here. Now pick this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This point goes here. Then pick this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You plot all these 3 points and you join them to form triangle P. It's as simple as that. So we're done with part B. Okay. So our next question, next part has it tells us that triangle C is the image of A under the transformation with the matrix M, where M equals this. Okay, find the matrix product M times 1, 2, 1, 5 and 3, 2. So this is actually a simple multiplication of matrix question. So I have done this over here. Okay. So they said M times the given matrix, which was this. So obviously we will place M before. Now how we multiply this? Or you need to know the concept of rows and columns. This is a row and this is a column. So you need to multiply a row with a column, this part with this, then this part with this, and then again this part with this. How? The first value will be multiplied by the first values of these three. The second value will be multiplied by the second values of these three. So 0 will be multiplied by 1 plus minus 1 will be multiplied by 2 over here. Then for the second row, second column, 0 will be multiplied by 1 here, and plus 5 will be multiplied by minus 1, which gives us minus 5. So 0 minus 5. Then 0 multiplied by 3 and minus 1 multiplied by minus 2 multiplied by 2, add them both, you get this. Similarly, in the second part, the first value will be multiplied by the first values, and the second value will be multiplied by these and added, their sums will be added to their respective answers. So 1 multiplied by 1 plus 0 multiplied by 2, 1 multiplied by 1 plus 0 multiplied by 5, 1 multiplied by 3 plus 0 multiplied by 2. All after that you need to simply add them and place them over here. So you should also know that the upper part, the upper row is the x-axis and the bottom row is the y-axis. So we have solved part C. This is the matrix product. We will move on to part D. Hence on the grid, draw and label triangle C. So these are actually the plotting points. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So our points are minus 2, 1, minus 5, 1, and minus 2, 3. And we have plotted them here. Minus 2, 1, minus 5, 1, and minus 2, 3. We have our triangle C. And for the final second last question, we have describe fully the single transformation that maps B onto triangle C. So now there is a single transformation that plots B on C. Only one process. So the one transformation that plots B onto C is a reflection on the x-axis or reflection on the line y equals to 0. So as you can see, it moves one block to the reflection point and then one block here, one block on the reflection point, one block here, 1, 2, 3 blocks over here, 1, 2, 3 over here. You can clearly identify this part B, this triangle B is being reflected over the x-axis to form triangle C. So that's what you're going to write. It is the reflection on the x-axis. You can write this, or you can write reflection on the line y is equals to 0. Part F. The single transformation that maps B onto C is represented by the matrix N. State giving the reason the matrix N square. This is actually one part which students have a little difficulty in, because not everyone tends to memorize every reflection matrix. You know B is being transferred to C by a single reflection over the x-axis. But a reflection over the x-axis has its own matrix, which you will multiply with if you multiply it with the plotting points of triangle B, you get the plotting points of triangle C. So over here, you can see B is being transformed to C, it is a reflection on x-axis. The matrix over here, sorry for the wrong answer before, this is the from over here, this is the real answer. So the matrix N, which is the reflection over the x-axis, is 1, 0 and 0 minus 1. This will inverse the signs of the y-axis, because the x-axis obviously remains the same on both parts, but the y-axis, they switch signs, minus 1, 1, minus 3, 3, and minus 1, 1 for this parts as well. So all you needed to do was to switch the y points, and this is how you do it. This is the x, this is the y. So y here 1, 0, 0, minus 1. This minus 1 was supposed to be the y, as I've told you before. The upper row means x, the bottom row means y. So if you multiply 1 0 0 minus 1 to these 3 points, you are gonna get these 3 points, because it simply switches your y coordinate signs. So now what we're gonna write, you're just gonna write n is equals to this, as it maps points as x-axis reflection. Yeah, so they will be reflecting on the x-axis. So n square will map points back to where they were. Obviously, if you multiply this once, your y-axis will be switched. But again, if you multiply it again, n squared means n multiplied by n. So when you multiply it once again, the y points will be shift again and you will end up in your original position. So that's what I wrote. As it maps points as x-axis reflection, so n square will map points back to where they were and it will turn into 1 0 0 1. So try to multiply n by itself, n square. So 1 0 0 minus 1 multiplied by 1 0 0 minus 1, it will give you 1 0 0 1, which is an identity matrix. And like in simple multiplication, if you multiply it by 1, you get the same answer as the other number. This is also equivalent to 1 in matrix. If you multiply this to any other matrix, you'll get the same matrix. So hope this was clear. We're done with question number 9 as well. Here's some extra paper. Don't need that unless you do, obviously. Question number 10. So we have our triangle here, or actually two triangles. I have made a little bit I've made some notes over here. This is a question about vectors. Figure 3 shows the triangle OAB and OA equals to 12A and OB equals to 6B. M is the midpoint of OA and N is the midpoint of AB. Point P on BM is such that BP ratio BM is 2:3. Simplifying your answer, find in terms of A and B, BM. So as they have told you, O to A is 12A and M is the midpoint. So obviously OM and MA will be half. So 12A divided by 2, it gives us 6A on this direction, because they said OA specifically. So OA means this is the direction. On the right hand side, the numbers will be traveling. So 6A on the right hand side. Make sure to make the arrows. It's actually pretty important. Now they told you that OB is 6B. So 6B in this direction, upwards direction. Now to find BM. To find BM, you need to find two alternative ways which you have the answers of, and then you need to add them to find this root. For example, if you have a triangle, let me change my pen which has some ink actually here. This is your triangle, pardon my drawing. You need to find this ABC. If you want to find AC, you'll need to go to AB and then to BC. It's just like finding your direction across an area which you don't have access to. For example, there's this road and it has a barrier over here. You will find an alternative route. This is you finding an alternative route. You go over here, then you go over here instead of passing through this barrier. So what you do is add this value to this value. Simple. And if this upward value is A and this sideward value is B, you cannot say it is A plus B. That will be completely wrong. Because A's direction is upwards and you're going backwards. Vectors, as you know, vector quantities have negative and positives. If you move, if its dedicated arrow is upwards and you are moving downwards, this A's sign will be changed. But over here we know B is traveling over here and you are also following the same route. B will remain positive. So your answer will be minus A plus B, or you can say B minus A. That looks better when you write it. Similarly over here, to find the value of BM, you need to go to first BO and then from O to M. Now we have the value of BO, actually OB, because this is the dedicated arrow is from O to B. Over here I've drawn it as well. This is 6B and O to M is 6A. So first you need to refer BM equals to BO to OM. B to M means BO, then O to M. So BO will be minus 6B because OB is 6B. So the negative root will be minus 6B because that's not its dedicated arrow. You're moving opposite to where it is supposed to go. Then from OM, that you all know, is 6A. So minus 6B plus 6A, or you can write 6A minus 6B, or you can take 6 common and write 6 brackets A minus B. That's your first part, BM. The second part is asking us for the direction of OP. Let's see where OP is. So OP is actually this line, and with the direction of this. Now to find OP, which two values do we have? We have OB as well as OM, but we don't have BP, neither do we have MP. So there are actually two routes you can take, but you'll have to find one answer of either BP or MP, because OP can either be equal to OM and MP, or it can equal to OB and BP. There are two routes. One goes from here and here, one goes from here and here to go from here to here. Imagine there's a barrier over here, you can't go direct. Okay, so OP is equals to, the route I took was OB and then from B to P, like this, from O to B and then B to P. But the problem is we don't have BP, but we have BM, and we know the ratio of BP to BM. From B to P and B to M, we have ratio 2 to ratio 3. So the total parts will be 3 because B to M is 3. B to P is 2 parts out of the 3. So BP is larger. So using the simple ratio method, we know what BM is. BM was this part, 6 into A minus B. We will simply find BP now because that's what we require. We are using this method. BP will be 3 parts out of 5. This wasn't supposed to be here. Wait a second. Sorry. We will just remove this. So now BM is given over here. I've rewritten it here, and BP is 2 parts out of 3 because the total parts were 3, and BP is 2 out of 3 as given over here. From BP is 2 and from BM it's 3. So use the ratio method, 2 over 3 multiplied by the total BM, which was this, and you will get BP, which we got over here as 2 multiplied by 2, 4, 4 multiplied by A minus P as we have written here. So OP was OB plus BP, OB was 6B, 6B added to BP 4 times A minus B, and you get the answer of OP as 6B plus 4 times A minus B. What you can do again is to simplify it, open the brackets and simplify it further. You will get this or this, either it's your choice, whatever you want to write. Okay, so part B. Hence show that O, P and N are collinear. What does that mean? O, P and N are collinear. It means that O, P, N are 3 points on one straight line. So you have to prove that O, P, N is one straight line. That's what you need to do. So what I did was Pn equals to, first obviously I found out the value of Pn focus here, yeah, this value. So the value of Pn was Pb to Bn, and the value of Ba was Bo to Oa minus 6b plus 12a, or 12a minus 6b, and n is the midpoint, so Bn will be halved of 12a minus 6b over 2. I will show you over here. See, Pn equals to Pb plus Bn. Pb we know was minus 4 times a minus b, and Bn is minus 6b plus 12a divided by 2. Minus 6b plus 12a were two directions, and we added them to get Bn, and we added them to get Ba. We divided them by 2 to get Bn here. Then we added them both to find Pn, and the value of Pn came out to be b plus 2a. Now, this value over here is, what was the value? Yeah, this is b plus 2a. Now, I found the value of On to see if they have the same vector. On came out to be 6b plus the Bn. Bn was minus 3b plus 6a. We added them again and we got this. On was 3 into b plus 2a. So to see if 3 points are collinear or they make a straight line, you need to find two vectors and or two unknown vectors, and you need to compare them to see if their vectors are equal. So over here we can see that Pn was b plus a, and On is 3 times b plus 2a, and it gives us the ratio of Pn to On as 1 over 3, 1:3, because On is 3 times as large as Pn, but their vectors are the same. They both are b plus 2a. On is just 3 times larger. So OP and Pn are collinear as they have vectors b plus 2a same and are in the ratio OP ratio Pn 2:1. Wait a second. This isn't supposed to be 2:1. It's supposed to be 1:3. Sorry about that. Yeah, 1:3 here. Or wait, they have a total of 4 parts, and from O to N it is 3b. So yeah, 2:1 was actually correct. There are a total of 3 parts. From O to N there are 3 parts. From P to N, which was the half point, from P to N it was 1 point, so it was actually 1 out of 3. But that actually makes even more sense. So yeah, it is 1:3. Whatever you feel is the right answer, let me know. I think it's 1:3. C, okay. Or we can simply write it's Pn ratio. I've just written this wrong over here. Now it's correct. Remove this. Whatever, you don't need to actually signify the ratio, whatever ratio it is. You just need to tell why they are collinear, and they are collinear because they have the same vectors. Part C. Find the length in centimeters to 3 significant figures of OP. You are given the magnitudes of A and B. So magnitude of A equals to magnitude of B, which is equal to 1 centimeter. And AOB angle is 70 degrees. Over here we can see. Magnitude means actually that the value of A and the value of B are 1. So we can say 6A means 1 and 6B means 6A means 6 and 6B means 6 as well. So the magnitude over here, AOB is 70. AOB is 70 degrees, which we have marked over here. and this whole is 12, this is 6, this is 6 as well. So they want us to find the length, see significant figures of OP. So to find the length of OP, or we have done over here, magnitude of A and B are 1, so OB is equals to 6 and OM equals to 6 and OA equals to 12. As I have told you before, just substitute A and B with 1, you will get these values. So now we will be using the cosine rule. Here's the interesting thing about the cosine rule. We are supposed to find the length of OP, this, and cosine rule actually means, let me first explain the cosine rule to you. You have a triangle over here, let's suppose, and you have an angle here, you have a length here, you have a length here, but you don't have a length here. What you will do? The cosine rule states the unknown length x squared equals to the two sides between the angle b squared plus a squared minus 2 times b and a multiplied by cos theta over here. So you can see x squared equals to b square plus a square minus 2ba cos center angle. You just need to memorize this formula and you are good to go. So take a good look at this diagram we have over here, and we use the cosine rule to find the length of BM first. This length BM squared equals to 6 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 6 into 6 cosine 70. So let me show you on this diagram using the marker. BM squared equals to 6 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 6 into 6 multiplied by cos 70, because this was in between these two lines. You use this formula, and to remove the square from BM, you just underroot the whole thing and you get BM as 6.88. So now you know that the ratio of BP, you know the ratio of BP and BM. You will simply use the same ratio, 2:3, and multiplied by the total amount, and you will get your length for BP as 4.59 centimeters or whatever. They haven't given us the units. So don't write centimeter, just state 4.59 units instead. Okay, so we're done with question number 10 as well. Okay, over here I have actually done the working for OP and OP squared and the entire thing. So wait a second, we were supposed to find the length of OP, right? So we found the length of BP instead. So now to find the length of OP, you have to do this part. So now, as we know this side, you can apply the cosine rule once again. So, but you don't know the angle of OMP. To find OP, this squared equals to this squared plus this squared minus 2 times this into this multiplied by cos of this. You don't know the cos of this. So now what you will do to find OMP, OMP, this angle, simply use the sine rule. What does the sine rule state? Let me show you. You have a triangle over here. You have this angle, you have this angle. For example, 30, this is 20, this is 10 length, and you don't have this length. What you will do? You can, you have this length opposite to either angles. Now what you will do? You have this angle, you have this length. You will simply write sine 30 divided by the length under it equals to sine 20 divided by the length under this. That's what I did over here. OMP for OMP here. Sine 70 divided by 6.88, this whole length. This is actually not OMP, this is for OMB. Sine 70 divided by the length under it, which was 6.88, equals to sine theta sine theta divided by the length under this. Now I think you can cross multiply this to find the value of theta, which is 55. And now you have the cos value over here, so you can complete this equation now. OP squared equals to 6 squared plus 4.59 squared minus 2 times 6 into 4.59 multiplied by cos 55. You put this whole thing in your calculator, it will give you the answer. Just under root this to remove the square over here, and you will get OP as 5.05. If there's still any questions, write them in the comments below. I'll get to you on the comment box as well. Second last question, question 11. The equation of a curve is y equals to fx, where fx equals to x cubed minus 10x square plus 20. Now give your values of x to one decimal place where necessary. Just a second, I'll explain you this on the calculator. Let me go get it. Okay, yes, I'm a kind of a dumb person who is explaining math without a calculator with him. Anyways, now I do have it. No comments. Okay. The easiest way to place in x values is by using your calculator. You don't need to write the entire equation like x squared, so you don't have the value of -1, so you do -1 cubed. What is this? Cubed minus 10 into 1 squared, and you will not like that, because that'll take you ages to rewrite your equation every time or change the values. All you need to do is make one equation and then keep changing the x values, and there is a function for it as well. So we have this equation alpha, and you can see these red values over here, x, y, m, f, e, d, c, b, a. So we're using the alpha command. If you use the alpha and you put on x, you will get this x. Okay, so now you can put the value of cubed over here, minus 10 alpha x, then it is squared, and plus 20. Here you go. Now don't ever press this equals button. This will give you a value of, this is your answer, this is what it will give you, but that's entirely incorrect. So what you will need to do is, you see this red, this orange equals, this is actually red on my calculator, is showing kind of a yellow color, but okay, use this calc button, calculate, which is also the equal to for the alpha values here. So now it's asking you what is the value of x you want to put in your equation. Right now I need to put in the value of -1, so I type in -1 and I get 9. Place it over here, press equals to, now you need 0.5 over here, put 0.5, press equals again, and you will get this value. Put to one decimal place as all are, just put it here. Now you don't have for 2.5, press equals, press 2.5, and you will get this value. To one decimal place, write it over here. You are done with your table. Now on the grid opposite, plot the points from your completed table and join them to form a smooth curve. Okay, don't judge my writing, this is This is a smooth curve, but it is a very thick curve. You will need to use a very fine tip pencil and one line only to draw your graph. If you repeat on the same graph, or you're trying to like mushing over like this will help, this will only lose you marks. So just simply take a pen and just draw your line like this once. Make sure it's smooth, make sure it's neat, and if you're not very good at drawing, first make it extremely light. So if there's an error, you can erase it without leaving any dent marks on the paper, and then you can darken it later. Now I have plotted my points over here. As you know how to plot the points, the first value is the upper value. Oh sorry, the video paused, my SD card is full. Anyways, x values are these, y values are these. Just match these values, -2 on the x-axis and -28 on the y-axis, and then just plot these points and you will get the graph. Just make a smooth curve. A curve C has equation y equals to g times x, where b is equals to g of x and db over dx equals to f of x. So now simply by looking at db divided by d of x, you know this is a question about differentiation. The curve C has two turning points in -2, which is less than equals to greater than equal to x, and 3, which is less than equals to x. Using your graph, find the x coordinates of these two turning points on the curve C. All you need to do, the turning points are the intersection points with the x-axis. You can see two intersection points on the x-axis. This one reads -1.3 and this one reads 1.5. So this is your answer. -1.3, 0 and 1.5, 0 are the x coordinates of these turning points. But you don't need to write 0 because that's the entire coordinate. They asked you for the x coordinate, so just write the x coordinate, which is -3 and 1.5. -1.3 and 1.5. Okay, part D. Referring to your graph, determine which of these two turning points is a maximum and which is a minimum. You should explain your reasoning clearly. So now you can see over here, this graph is going like this and like this. When it is moving upwards towards the right, this means it's a positive gradient. When it is moving downwards towards the right, it means it's a negative gradient. So now you are looking at this part, you can see it is rising. So you can say that -1.3 is a maximum, is a minimum point, maximum point, because over here the curve is rising. 1.5 is a minimum point because over here the curve is dropping. That's the entire answer. And if you're wondering why this 3 marks, this question is of 3 marks and all you need to do was to identify these, there's a harder way in which, if you're comfortable with it, you can try that out. Let me show it to you. And that thing is nothing. All you need to do is find the intersection points on the x-axis, and that's where you get your answer. And because they asked you for the answer and not for any specific method you need to use, so that's what you will do. And here we are, we're done with question number 11 as well. And now extra paper and extra graph, you don't need them until you do. Final question. Indre buys 1000 Hungarian dolls in Budapest, blah blah blah. Okay, Indre pays 1900 forints for each small doll she buys, and 10,300 for each large doll she buys. Number of small dolls are 4 times number of large dolls. Calculate the total cost in forints of the 1000 dolls that Indre buys. So over here we can see that small dolls are 4 times the larger dolls. So you can write the ratio as 4:1. This is the large, these are smalls. So you can see that the total parts are 5. That's what I have done over here. 4 out of 5 parts are out of 1000 dolls. They give you 800 small dolls. So 1000 minus 800s are 200 large dolls. So these are the number of dolls she bought. 4 out of 5 parts out of 1000 gives 800 dolls, and the remaining are 200, which are the large dolls. So the total payment she makes is 1900 for small dolls. So you multiply 1900 by 800 plus 10,300 for 200 large dolls. So you multiply those and then you add them to get 3.58 million forints. These are the amount spent. Now you need to read the rest of the question first. Initially, okay, Inder has to pay 100 euros to transport the dolls from Hungary so that she can sell them in Austria. This is one piece of information that even I missed out in my first try, and when I checked the marking scheme, my answer was wrong by this much amount. So just keep this in mind. Inder has to pay 100 euros to transport the dolls from Hungary so that she can sell them in Austria. Okay, just keep this in mind till the end, till where I'll tell you it will be needed. Okay, so we have calculated the total cost in forints of the $1000 that Inder buys. Okay, initially the price of each small doll that Inder sells is 8 euros, and the price of each large doll Inder sells is 40 euros. She sells 80% of the small dolls and 7/8 of the large dolls at these prices. So first, let's move on step by step and let's calculate what she earned in this. Okay, so obviously we'll just they have given us the, okay, we don't need to worry about this right now. You do later on, but not right now. Okay, see, 80% of small dolls she sold at $8. So 80 divided by 100 means 80 parts out of 100 parts multiplied by 800. So 80% out of 100% from $800 makes $640. I hope you know how to calculate your percentages. And then she sold them for 8 euros, and this is 5,120 euros are earned for 640 small dolls. Then they also told you that she sold 7 over 8 of the large dolls. So 7/8 of 200 dolls, which makes 175 dolls, she sold for 40 euros, which makes 7,000 euros earned. So these are your earnings for this much. Okay. Focus. Okay. Inder then reduces the price of each of her remaining dolls by 40%. She sells all of the remaining dolls. So let's first calculate that as well. So 40% price reduced for large dolls. Their first price was $40. So out of 100%, you subtract 40%, you will remain by 60% of the original price. That's what I did right here. So from 100%, I subtracted 40% because that's how much the price got reduced. So 60% divided by 100% of the original price, which makes it 4.8 euros. She sold the remaining dolls, which were 800 were original number of dolls, 640 she has already sold. 160 dolls were sold for 4.8 euros, which makes it an earning of 768 euros. Now we're reducing the 40% price for the large dolls as well. We'll do the same for 40 euros, and you get 24 euros. Remaining dolls were 200 out of 200, 175 were sold. Remaining were 25. 25 multiplied by 24 gives you 600 euros earned for the remaining large dolls. So now we will add the total earnings, whatever she has earned from the original selling price and the 40% reduced. She has earned 134,088 euros. let's read the rest of the question before getting to the profit. Okay, so the part B actually says calculate the total profit in euros to two decimal places that Inter made by selling all the $1,000. So we don't know the profit which Inter made because we don't know what the euro and forints exchange is. So we are given here that when Inder bought the dolls, the exchange rate was 1 euro to 327.6 forints. So to find the profit, both currencies should be same. And as for me, I converted your forints to euros over here. These over here is what she needs to which she spent initially to buy these dolls, and we're adding $100 in which she spent because that is the weird $100 which she used for transport, 100 euros. So the total she spent was 1127.96 because we added 100 euros to this. So now what she earned to find the profit is the selling price minus the cost price. So this is what she got for selling and this is what she spent. You can see the error I made without the adding the 100, and now you get a total profit of 2460.04 euros to two decimal places. Okay, let's see. Calculate the percentage profit to three significant figures that Inder made. So percentage profit means the difference, the profit divided by your cost price. That's what I did. This is the profit we just calculated divided by the total amount we spent. So multiplied by 100 to find the percentage and you get 22.3% profit was made. This was part 1. So part 2 says state how the percentage profit in part C would be affected if the total profit calculated in part B had been in forints. So they're actually asking you if the amount was in forints in part B, forints, then what would have been the difference in, would there have been a difference in profit? So the answer is percentage profit would have been the same as currency doesn't matter. Obviously, if you have made a profit of $2 and you or it would be the same as you having made a profit of like 200 Pakistan rupees, because I'm just it's actually a lot more than that right now, but I'm just keeping it as simple as possible to help you get the idea. So $2 is equals to 200 Pakistan rupees. In my opinion, actually it's 320. Okay, so it doesn't actually matter, the profit is the same and so will the percentage profit be, because your cost price will be the same and your profit will be the same. So it actually simplifies to the same amount and your percentage profit will be same. And hence we are done with our paper 2 of January 2021. I hope this was of help to you, and for more, next paper inshallah will be chemistry 2021 if I can find this, and we'll be posting it soon. So for more of the past paper videos solved and explained, like and subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends and teachers. I'm trying to help as many people as possible, so with your help spread these videos so I can help more and more people with them. So until next time, bye bye.